Dolphins fans, we have to have an honest conversation about the future of the Miami Dolphins. This is the Dolphins Today by Chat Sports Channel. I am Nick Roloff. And listen, we all know the situation surrounding quarterback Tua Tagovailoa and his injury history and current concussion status. But unfortunately, we do have to talk about what's next for the Miami Dolphins. I wanted to give it 24 hours plus before we had this conversation. And I hope nothing but the best and speedy recovery for Tua, him, for his family, as he needs to take as long as he wants for him to return. But we do have to talk because this is a team that has aspirations to win the AFC East and make a run in the playoffs. So we do need to talk about what can be done next with Chris Greer. But first, I do want to wish Tua a speedy recovery. Everyone hit that thumbs up button to show Tua we got his back, and we're hoping that he's able to recover quickly because there's nothing I'd like more for him to get fully healthy and return to the football field if he wants to do that. If he doesn't, it's fine. But either way, I want him to just be fully healthy. All right, the reason why we got to talk about adding a quarterback to this roster is because, well, we all knew it was going to happen. And, well, Mike McDaniel basically confirmed that in, Friday morning, speaking with media, said that Skylar Thompson is going to be the next man up, but they will absolutely sign a quarterback for depth, and then spoke about Tua as the best thing he can do is not assess what it means for football long term. Timelines give anxiety. And I actually love what Coach McDaniel did at the press conference. I have a lot of respect for how he handled that tough situation. But we do have to realize that the current situation for Miami at quarterback is not ideal. As we currently stand, Skylar Thompson is the only active quarterback on the 53-man roster. Tim Boyle is the practice squad quarterback. And you might know Tim Boyle from his days with the New York Jets, but let's just say this, folks. He is not a good football quarterback. So we do have to talk about what's next for Miami because I do not have the confidence in Skylar Thompson to lead this football team. We watched him struggle in the preseason. We watched him a little bit in 2022, and I just simply don't know if he's got the capabilities of winning football games consistently in the National Football League. And I don't want to have this roster on the hook. Like, I think this team's got too many good veterans and too many good players on it to really just tank this season. And it's not they're going to tank, but it's not going to go well with Skylar Thompson at quarterback. So I got 5 guys that could potentially be upgrades that Miami either wants to add to this team or be the starter going forward. We'll start with Ryan Tannehill, the free agent quarterback. I think he's the number one option, and I do have the quarterbacks that we're talking about today ranked in the order of which I would do the most, and Tannehill is number 1. It feels like the best option, one, because, well, you're not trading for a starter because they're all going to be backups, right? So if you are trying to get someone to start for your football team, Ryan Tannehill is the most capable guy. He started a long time in this league with the Miami Dolphins, and he's led the Titans to some deep playoff runs. And it just feels like he would run this offense better than any other person possible outside of Tua or any top-tier starters in the National Football League. You see what he's done with a more bad offense in Tennessee. Like, we know for a fact that the Dolphins' offense right now is better than what Tennessee had. And sure, the Titans' offensive line was good, but they didn't have the weapons of Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, not even close. And Tannehill was able to lead the Titans to AFC Championship game and another playoff win. Like, he did very, very good. To me, it's Chris Greer, get this done. There's no reason to wait. Tannehill didn't sign with a team. He's had offers, but he didn't do it just in case a starter went down and he can jump right in and potentially be in the mix for a starter. Well, guess what? Sadly, the quarterback for the Miami Dolphins isn't going to be here for at least probably 2 weeks. That is me guessing at this point, but it is pretty definite that he's not going to be here for week 3 against the Seahawks, and nor should he be. He should honestly, in my opinion, take longer time than that due to his long, extensive history with concussions. But to me, I think Ryan Tannehill is the clear-cut best option to get for the Miami Dolphins. And if it was me running this team, I know it's not, but I would absolutely sign Ryan Tannehill. What say you, though? Should the Dolphins sign Ryan Tannehill? If you believe they should bring him back, type Y for yes. If you think they should go in a different direction, type N for no. How about Sam Howell as my number 2 option, the current backup quarterback for the Seattle Seahawks? And he intrigues me. He's a third-year player after being drafted late in the 2022 NFL Draft. did not play in 2022, but played all of 2023 for the Washington Commanders and had quite the interesting season. Completed 63% of his passes, threw for damn near 4,000 yards, and he threw 21 touchdowns but 21 picks, similar to like a Jameis Winston 30-30 season. But the reason why he intrigues me is because he can really throw the football, man. And when you watch the ball come out of his hands, it comes out clean. It comes out hot, tight spiral. I think he can really lay the football out there deep down the football field, which is something that Miami would obviously really like with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle running deep down the field. He's also a really sharp thrower over the middle of the field. I am a fan of Sam Howell, and I know the 21 interceptions might scare you in the QBR of 42.4, but he also played on a Commanders team who had maybe one of the worst football offensive lines that I've ever seen. He got sacked more than any other quarterback by a wide margin and had no time to throw the football. I believe, even though the Dolphins' offensive line isn't that good, that in Miami, once he got a hang of this offense, he would be able to put together some really nice games for the Fins, and I would be intrigued with adding Sam Howell if the Seahawks were willing to trade him. All right, we're going to move on with some more quarterback targets for the Miami Dolphins, but we do got to shout out Z-Biotics, who is sponsoring today's show. We all have busy lives these days and can't afford to waste a day stuck on the couch because of a few drinks the night before. Z-Biotics Pre-Alcohol is the answer we've all been looking for. Pre-alcohol is the world's first genetically engineered probiotic. It was invented by PhD scientists to tackle rough mornings after drinking. When you drink, alcohol gets converted into a toxic byproduct in the gut. It's this byproduct, not dehydration, that's to blame for your rough next day. Pre-alcohol produces an enzyme to break this byproduct down. Just remember to drink this probiotic before drinking alcohol, drink responsibly, and get a good night's sleep to feel your best tomorrow. And I tell you what, the first time I used Z-Biotics, it was an absolute game changer. Me and my friends had a little bit of a beer Olympics, so we had quite a lot of drinks to have that day. But before, I had my Z-Biotics. I had some water after, and it made me feel really, really nice the next day. It was absolutely terrific. It was honestly a game changer. I kept hearing about pre-alcohol and wondered what it was actually like, and now that I did try it, I believe the hype. And with this technology, they will release different products that have nothing to do with alcohol. So stay in the loop and go to zbiotics.com/chatsports. You can also scan the QR code currently on screen right now to get 15% off your first order when you use code CHATSPORTS at checkout. You can also sign up for a subscription using my code so you can stay prepared no matter the time or occasion. Z-Biotics backed with a 100% money-back guarantee. So if you're unsatisfied for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. One more time, remember to head to zbiotics.com/chatsports and use code CHATSPORTS at checkout for 15% off. Thank you, Z-Biotics, for sponsoring this episode and our good times. That link will be in the live chat and description of today's video. Z-Biotics, go get yours today. All right, moving on here. Mac Jones, the former New England Patriot and now current backup quarterback to Trevor Lawrence for the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know a lot of people might be saying, Mac Jones, are you serious, Nick? Are you serious, Rolly? I would never troll you guys, and I know some of you might think I'm trolling you with this pick, but I do like the fit. I know that Mac Jones didn't have the best end to his career in New England, but he was really good as a rookie, man. And to me, he is the prototypical quarterback to run a Kyle Shanahan-type offense, which Mike McDaniel implores. Like, I believe that if Mac Jones was able to be confident and kind of return to his rookie year for New England, like, he can do some really nice things, man. He really can. He's accurate when he's got his feet set, when he gets to his back foot, plants, fires over to the middle of the field, anticipates. And that's what Mike McDaniel runs. When Mac was at Alabama, it was the RPO game, the quick throws deep down the field where he was play action, fire over the middle, quick little out routes, bubble screens, deep balls, and he executed a high level for the Crimson Tide. I think it would work out in Miami if Mac Jones was given a chance. I at least think he'd be better than Skylar Thompson. All right, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because the Dolphins will inevitably sign a quarterback. Mike McDaniel said so himself, or maybe even trade for one. When they add a quarterback to this team, we'll break it down in full depth. So hit that sub button and join the channel, nearly 60K subs. All right, how about Trey Lance? And I know some of you might saying, man, he is not a good QB. I'm not disputing that. But the reason why I think it might be possible for the Dolphins to add Trey Lance is because, well, there was a reason that the 49ers drafted him third overall in the 2021 NFL draft. And you know who was on that coaching staff, by the way? Oh, yeah, Mike McDaniel. McDaniel had a obvious big part in that scouting department and at least help confirm that to Kyle Shanahan, that Trey Lance was the top option for the 49ers with that third overall pick. So to me, it's at least a little intriguing to me that I think that Mike McDaniel might want him at least a little bit. But if it was to me, I'm out on Trey Lance. I don't like him. I don't think he's good. I watched him in the preseason. Watched him anytime he played in the regular season. I do not think he's a good NFL quarterback, but I did want to put him on this list because I actually think there's more than a non-0% chance that the Dolphins would be interested to add him at least as a backup to Skylar Thompson. I don't even know if Trey Lance is better than Skylar Thompson. All right, final quarterback we're going to talk about on today's show is Carson Wentz, another polarizing name in the football world. And if you were to look at some of the trade options, he is the most experienced. Obviously, Tannehill is the number one, but in terms of the trade options for Miami that are currently backups around the league, Carson Wentz probably might be the most experienced and best one. And he kind of was on the out. His career was over, but then he had a good couple showings for the Rams at the end of the 2023 season. And now it is kind of like, well, maybe he can start still in the National Football League. And maybe the Dolphins should give him a chance. Like, I don't think it's the craziest thing in the world whatsoever to believe that if you can get him super cheap for like a 7th, 6th round pick, which is probably all it would take, most likely a 7th, that I would take that chance and flyer on Carson Wentz. All right, who should the Dolphins add at quarterback? I'm going to give you my final answer here coming up in just a second, but let me know who you want to be this quarterback that the Dolphins inevitably add. It's just got to be Ryan Tannehill, man. There's really no other option than Ryan Tannehill, in my opinion. I think he's got to be the guy. He has experience in Miami. I know different offense, but he has the support from some fans around this organization, and I think he would be able to really work in this McDaniel offense where he's quick, he's decisive, he's accurate, and throwing the Tyreek Hill, throwing the Jalen Waddle, I think this offense can still work with Ryan Tannehill, and I think this team could still make the playoffs. Now, I don't know how long Tua will be out. We'll have to see about that, and we'll be here to let you know the updates on that situation. But if it's for an extended period of time and just say worst-case scenario, it's for the year, I think Tannehill could actually lead this team to playoffs because this roster is too good, in my opinion, even with average quarterback play, which I think Ryan Tannehill can give you. I think they're going to be a playoff football team, and he can play in the cold. We've seen that in the past. He can play in those late December and January frigid temperatures. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode. Make sure you hit that sub button, join the channel, because like I said, when the Dolphins add a quarterback, we'll have you covered.